Retirement was once seen as the finish line after a lifetime of work. Today, for many Australians, it feels more like a goal that keeps moving further away. More older Australians are staying in the workforce than ever before. Some continue working because they enjoy it. Others stay because they simply cannot afford to stop. In many cases, the most common retirement plan is no longer built around savings or investments. It is a simple idea. I'll just keep working. That sounds practical, but it comes with a cost, and someone always ends up paying it. Retirement itself is a fairly modern idea. For most of history, people worked until they were no longer able to. Families usually stepped in to provide support. The idea of spending 20 or 30 years in retirement is something that became common only in recent decades. Australia built its retirement system around several key supports. The first is the age pension, funded by the government to provide income for eligible older Australians. The second is superannuation, where employers make compulsory contributions during a person's working life to help build retirement savings. The third is personal savings and investments, which many people rely on to fill the gap between government support and everyday living costs. For many years, this combination gave Australians confidence that retirement would be financially secure. But things have changed. Today, far more responsibility falls on individuals. Your retirement income depends heavily on how much super you build, how well your investments perform, and how long your savings last. That means much of the financial risk now sits with you instead of someone else. Government policy has also encouraged people to remain in the workforce for longer. Australians are living longer than previous generations, and that means retirement savings often need to last much longer as well. Before deciding when to retire, the first question is simple: how much money will you actually need? That answer shapes every other decision. For many Australians, the age pension provides important support, but it was never designed to replace a full salary. It helps cover basic living costs, but most retirees still need superannuation or personal savings to maintain the lifestyle they want. The challenge becomes even bigger because retirement is no longer a short stage of life. Many Australians who reach retirement age can expect to live for another 20 years or more. That means retirement is not just a few years without work. It can be an entire second chapter of life. Once people do the numbers, many arrive at the same conclusion. The easiest way to improve their financial position is to stay employed a little longer. Every extra year of work can mean another year of income, another year of super contributions, and one less year of drawing down retirement savings. On paper, it looks like a smart financial decision. The problem is that continuing to work is not something everyone gets to choose. Working longer may sound like the perfect solution, but there is one problem. You cannot simply decide that you'll keep your job. Your employer has to keep you. Your health has to allow it, and the job market has to give you the opportunity. That is where the plan begins to fall apart. Years ago, many workers relied on retirement systems that gave them a guaranteed income after they stopped working. Today, most Australians depend mainly on their own superannuation balance. If your super performs well, your retirement becomes easier. If markets struggle or your balance is lower than expected, the risk belongs to you. The responsibility has gradually shifted from employers and institutions to individual workers. Businesses have also changed. Older employees often bring years of knowledge and experience, but they can also be among the highest paid members of the workforce. During times of restructuring or cost-cutting, those higher salaries can become an easy target. Many people expect to work into their late 60s, yet some lose their jobs years earlier through redundancy, business closures, or company changes. Finding another position at that stage of life is often much harder than people expect. Financial companies also benefit when Australians stay in the workforce longer. The longer people continue working, the longer they keep contributing to their super accounts. Larger balances mean more money remains invested, and investment managers continue earning fees on those funds. Insurance companies also play a role. As Australians live longer, more people look for products that can help protect their income or cover future care needs. Longer life expectancy creates more demand for these financial products. Meanwhile, many older Australians who continue working are not always staying in the careers they spent decades building. Some move into retail, others work in warehouses, transport, cleaning, hospitality, aged care, or self-employment. For some people, these jobs are a personal choice. For others, they are simply the opportunities that remain after leaving a long-term career. The government also benefits when people stay employed. Workers continue paying income tax and super contributions while delaying access to retirement support. This reduces immediate pressure on public finances and keeps more people contributing to the economy. None of this means there's a hidden plan forcing Australians to work longer. But the financial system naturally rewards longer working lives. The real question is this: what happens when someone plans to work longer but cannot? That is where retirement planning becomes far more difficult. Many Australians leave the workforce earlier than they expected. Sometimes it is because of poor health. Sometimes it is an injury. Sometimes it is redundancy or changes within a business. Very few people actually retire exactly according to their original plan. And when work ends sooner than expected, the financial impact can last for the rest of retirement. Retiring earlier than planned can change everything. Leaving work just a few years sooner means fewer years of earning an income, fewer super contributions, and more years relying on savings. That difference may seem small at first, but over a long retirement, it can become significant. There's another issue that often gets overlooked. People usually earn their highest salaries during the later years of their careers. If those working years disappear because of illness, redundancy, or other unexpected events, they also lose some of their strongest earning years. That can reduce the amount of super they build before retirement. Health can also change the picture quickly. Many Australians work in physically demanding jobs: construction, transport, cleaning, hospitality, aged care, and other hands-on roles become harder as people get older. A job that feels manageable at 55 may be much more difficult at 65 or beyond. Many people expect to keep working because they picture themselves feeling the same as they do today, but the body does not always cooperate. Family responsibilities create another challenge. When an older Australian can no longer work or support themselves fully, family members often step in. Adult children may provide financial help. Some offer a place to live, others spend countless hours providing unpaid care. The financial pressure does not disappear. It simply shifts from one generation to the next. Another common problem is job loss later in life. Finding work after 55 can be much more difficult than many people expect. Even highly experienced workers often discover that employers are looking for younger applicants or offering lower paying positions. Those who do find another job frequently accept lower wages than they earned before. That can make it much harder to rebuild retirement savings. Many Australians also imagine easing into retirement by reducing their working hours over time. It sounds like an ideal plan. Work part-time for a few years, earn some income, and slowly transition into retirement. In reality, many employers do not offer that option. Instead of a gradual transition, retirement often happens suddenly because of health issues, redundancy, or unexpected life events. When people build their retirement plans around working longer, they assume the opportunity will always be there. But that decision is not completely in their hands. Their employer has a say. Their health has a say. The economy has a say. Any one of those factors can change without warning. Over the past several decades, Australia has placed more responsibility on individuals to prepare for retirement. Superannuation remains one of the strongest retirement systems in the world, but the outcome still depends on personal savings, investment performance, and how long those funds need to last. As Australians continue living longer, retirement planning becomes even more important. A retirement that lasts 20 or even 30 years requires much more money than previous generations needed. That is why so many people decide to stay in the workforce for as long as they can. For some, it is a personal choice. For many others, it is simply a financial necessity. Australia's population is getting older. Every year, more Australians reach retirement age, and many are expected to spend decades in retirement. That puts increasing pressure on both personal savings and the broader retirement system. The age pension continues to provide an important safety net, but it was never meant to fully replace employment income. For most people, retirement depends on a combination of the age pension, superannuation, and personal savings. That is why working a few extra years can make such a big difference. More income is earned, more super is built, retirement savings are left untouched for longer, and there are fewer years to fund without a regular paycheck. From a financial point of view, it is one of the most effective ways to improve retirement security. Many Australians continue working because they genuinely enjoy what they do. They value the routine, the social connection, and the sense of purpose that comes with having a job. For those who have the opportunity and the health to keep working, it can be a positive choice. But that is where the biggest assumption lies. Working longer is not guaranteed. A person may fully intend to stay employed, yet illness, injury, family responsibilities, or redundancy can end that plan overnight. Retirement is influenced by factors that no one can completely control. Your health matters. Your employer matters. The economy matters, and your financial situation matters. All of them shape when retirement actually begins. For many Australians, the biggest risk is not poor planning. It is believing they will always have the option to keep working. That option can disappear much sooner than expected. The most successful retirement plans are usually the ones that prepare for both possibilities. One plan assumes you can work longer, the other assumes you may not. Building savings early, making regular super contributions, reducing unnecessary debt, and reviewing your retirement plan over time can provide more flexibility if life does not go as expected. The reality is simple. Retirement has not disappeared, but the responsibility for making it work has shifted more toward individuals. For those who are healthy and able to remain employed, working longer can strengthen their financial future. For those who are forced to stop earlier than planned, the challenge becomes much greater. That is why retirement should never be based on a single assumption. It should be built around preparation, flexibility, and realistic expectations. The more prepared you are before leaving the workforce, the more choices you are likely to have later. If this breakdown helped you better understand how retirement works in Australia and why so many people are staying in the workforce longer, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more clear, easy to understand financial updates and retirement guides. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.